Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we're going to be looking forwards to BlizzCon 2018 to try and figure out what the new content we'll be getting is, based off Blizzard's track record last year and what the content release patterns can tell us. I'm really excited for this year's event and I know you guys are too. There's only a few weeks to go, so the time is ripe to speculate wildly and have some fun. So with that all said, let's remind ourselves what we actually got for Overwatch last year. Well, Moira came out of the blue, much to everyone's surprise. There had been virtually no hints or leads going in, but a Talon support or evil healer had been a community request for a long time. She was certainly exciting and to my mind really established the trend of a different kind of design philosophy for new heroes post Doomfist. We've seen more and more non-traditional FPS hero kits make their way into the game since then. Brig and Wrecking Ball are the heroes that followed, and I don't think anyone would suggest they fit within normal shooter tropes. Perhaps that trend will continue for Hero 29. More on that later. We also got the reveal for the Blizzard World map and all the Blizzard crossover skins that went into the base loot box. My personal favourites were either Nova Widowmaker or Blackhand Doomfist, and of course we got the excellent Rein cinematic introduced by Jeff and Rein's voice actor Darren DePaul, much to everyone's delight. Now that we've quickly covered what came before, let's joyfully look forward. I'll be breaking it down by each section and giving you my guess as to their likelihoods. First off, let's start with the item most people would probably like to see. Hero 29. So right out of the gate, I think a new hero is as close to a certain bet one could get. A new hero is also the most hype addition Blizzard could drop at the moment. As for what that hero does or who they are, it is still a complete mystery, as is par for the course. Sombra was revealed at BlizzCon 2016, and she certainly had a lot of hints with the now infamous Countdown to a Countdown ARG, but Moira was handled differently, and they publicly stated they wouldn't be repeating the Sombra example. Now as for what the game actually needs, well I think we'll be getting a damage hero. We've just had a tank and a support in Hammond and Brig respectively, and I think there's a real hunger in the community for a badass damage character. Fortunately, damage is also the role that gives Blizzard the widest scope for the utility they bring to the game, as technically New Torb and Sim have to fit in there too. The damage category is a very wide church, so to speak. Now practically speaking, a projectile DPS gives them a lot more room for invention. How many different types of hit scan even are there? A burst rifle? A semi-automatic? There's not many archetypes left. If a hero is hit scan, they have to be largely built around that weapon. Widow, McCree, Tracer, even Soldier are defined by their weapon's performance largely. Sombra is kind of different because her kit is built more around her hack and infiltration than it is her fairly nondescript damage, but the general rule still stands. You can look at a game like Unreal Tournament as a good example of just how wacky projectile weapons can get, with the many weird and wonderful variations being quite commonplace there. Flamethrowers, poison damage, or status effects like the kind that form a big part of MOBA hero kits all are possible from a projectile design point of view. Maybe, just maybe, we might get to see another builder. They'd have to be more in line with current Torb and Sim, obviously, but their kit could do some very interesting things. One idea I've always loved is if a hero could influence the cooldowns of others around them. A builder might be able to construct a synergy station with a radius that sped up your teammates' cooldown slightly or slowed your enemies' versions. That really would change the game. I know what all you guys really want though, and that's more stuns in the game, right? Kappa. Hero 29 is called Stunner, their E is a stun, their shift is a stun, and their ult stuns everyone on the map and they go around stunnering everyone like Stone Cold Steve Austin. No? Okay, moving on. A summoner type hero is an idea I see in comment sections all the time. New Torb is kind of a summoner if you think about it. He just throws his turret down and it does its thing as he continues to fight, but I'm talking a proper Elder Scrolls Conjuration type summoner, as in you have separate characters you could call upon to do different things. Maybe your E ability is a damage bot of some sort and your shift is a healing drone, a proper DPS heal hybrid that isn't named Brig. That'd be cool. With a hero like that, their weapon could be tuned appropriately quite easily as well. Wrist-mounted crossbow, something like that. I am getting a bit ahead of myself here, but you guys get the drift. BlizzCon will almost certainly give us a new hero, and I do expect it to be a damage version. What do you guys think? Let us know your ideas down below. The most creative ones will get a fave from us. New map. Okay, so Busan isn't that old, having only just reached competitive rotation recently, and last year's iteration, Blizzard World, gave the devs a huge opportunity for fan service in the form of skins and Easter eggs. I don't expect them to make like a Blizzard World 2. Crossover skins are a different matter though, and I'll go into that in a moment. I have to say, maps in general are fairly low on the Eddie the Chump hype meter, and I think that goes for most fans too. But that's not to say that we don't get one. Busan was Control, Rialto was Payload, and I don't expect them to release a smaller DM type map if they do end up revealing one, so that leaves Hybrid, which is what Blizzard World is, or 2CP. Please Jeff, don't get up on stage and announce another map for a mode that I'd happily never play again. Perhaps that's a bit too harsh, Horizon can be pretty fun, and this video isn't really about negativity, but I'd still take a new hybrid map like Eichenwald any day of the week. Here's an interesting thought, the last two maps have been linked to events or other content releases. Rialto was obviously where the Archives event took place, although the map itself is very different from the nighttime setting featured in the scenario, and Busan was tied in with D.Va's recent cinematic. Winter Wonderland is just after BlizzCon, so perhaps it could be tied to that. A map set on the Russian front would make sense because the ever-present snow could be justifiable all year round, or maybe it's going to be tied in with the origin of Hero 29. Horizon, for example, intersects with both Winston's story and Hammond, so perhaps it functions a bit more like that. I don't know for certain, I'm just guessing and trying to have some fun. Blizzard are quite famous for trying to globetrot with their maps. What region would you like to see for any new iteration they add? Cinematic. Now, despite D.Va getting a cinematic very recently, and the fact that these animations take an incredible amount of time to make, I do think we'll be getting one again this year. Fans of the channel will know, I keep going on about a McCree Western style short. I like Westerns, I like McCree. Add the two together and you've got a recipe for hype. We even ran a Title the McCree Cinematic contest in the comments section of previous videos on the subject. Deadeye was a strong contender, although if the cinematic was called that, he'd have to die instantly just to be consistent. Plus, McCree hasn't had much in terms of character development over the years. Yeah, anti-hero, Blackwatch, Han Solo archetype, we get it, but I want some depth. What motivates him to not go down the same road as Reaper? Why does he decide to fight with Overwatch instead of against them? Plus, he is in the official promotion artwork for the virtual ticket. D.Va was featured in the Gamescom marketing and look what happened. It's not an absolute certainty, but my chump sense is tingling, viewers. I think this might actually happen. If not him, then I'd be okay with a whole range of heroes. Sim would be quite interesting, Lucio too. Their stories are kind of interlinked, so maybe a dual narrative short could be good. If all else fails, then Zenyatta training Genji or Mercy saving him would be sick. Skins. I did say earlier that they're not going to make another Blizzard World map, but I'll tell you what I do expect to happen, and that's more Blizzard crossover skins. Not only because they're very popular, but I imagine for the devs themselves, they were extraordinarily satisfying to make. This year's virtual ticket exclusive is a Sombra Demon Hunter, and I do expect that trend to continue. They have like 20 years worth of gaming history to draw upon as inspiration, and I'll quickly give 3 examples I think they could do that would be fun. Firstly, I think a Hanzo Illidan skin would be fantastic. They're both hugely arrogant, they both have either a top knot or a ponytail, therefore it's conclusive, hairstyle equals confirmed. Honestly speaking, I think Hanzo would look amazing blindfolded with the horns, wings, runes, and the glowing green eyes, maybe even a green fell energy bow to top it all off. Imagine seeing a winged Hanzo run up a wall and lunge to the side, it'd be great. If Blizzard did do that, then it would be the very definition of an insta purchase for a lot of people, I'm sure. Next up, and I can't believe they've never done this before, would be a Jim Raynor McCree skin. They're basically the same character anyway, they both have skulls as their iconography, and they both smoke cigars. It's a match made in heaven. Now practicality tells me that they'd make any skin a version of Raynor's civilian clothes, but a huge part of me wants to see him in a smaller version of his armor. Maybe the visor goes down on his helmet to reveal the skull when he uses Deadeye. That'd be very cool. It doesn't have to be to scale, it just has to look sick, right? The last skin idea I had was a Leia from Diablo skin for Tracer. Her basic outfit would be quite easy to translate, and the hair is quite a similar length. If they really wanted to push the boat out, they could make it a version of Leia that's mid-transformation, with bloodshot eyes and dead-looking skin with all the scars. That would be very fun, if perhaps a little scary. What crossover skins would you guys like to see? Surely someone in the comment section can think of a good fit for Gul'dan or Sylvanas. Clans/role queue. So this last section is about that missing social feature that's been delayed. I don't think we'll get it released at BlizzCon, but it makes a lot of sense to me that they might want to at least tease it if it's going to be as impactful to the game as I imagine it could be. If either clans or proper role queue were announced in place of something else like a map or cinematic, should we not get one, I think it could break the internet, especially role queue. If you've been paying attention to pro players on Twitter or keeping up with recent videos, you know this topic has returned with a vengeance. I won't pull my punch here, I don't think anybody is under any illusions concerning Overwatch Ranked anymore. A lot of people at all levels of skill and investment in Overwatch are not happy with how competitive functions or plays. Something needs to be done and it needs to be fairly drastic. LFG is good for certain things, but it still doesn't solve a lot of Ranked's problems. Blizzard announcing role queue at BlizzCon would feel like a life preserver being thrown to a drowning man, and if that happened, people might actually be more excited for that than even Hero 29. Being honest, I would be. Don't get me twisted, I love new heroes, I really do, but I've wanted a better way to compete for as long as the game has been released. Clans likewise would deliver a similar burst of hype, especially if we got weekend tournaments or its own separate matchmaking. Please Blizzard, give the people what they want. Maybe, and this is really getting too optimistic, it's a combination of both. Ranked 2.0, role queue for solos, clans for proper team play. Lord Jeffrey of Kaplan, I beseech you, deliver us from ranked evil. And that's about everything that I could conceivably think of that could be coming to BlizzCon this year. As always, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, so you know what to do, hit that comment section and tell us what you think. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss another video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in great company. And finally, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time,